Hi, this clip is about the books that I've been working on over the last 12 months or so, late 22 into 2023. There are 3 books, one of which is forthcoming and the other 2 have already been published and released. The first book I published in this period was Long Time Approaching, an incomplete memoir. It was published in February 2023. It was the first book I've done that I was prepared to use the word memoir for because it seemed appropriate. It has 108 chapters, which are short glimpses of parts of my life, threads, going back to when I was quite young through to now in my early 70s. There's even a batch of photos in the book, starting with 1952, me as a young child, and then various milestones in my life. They're interesting, I thought. The book is significant moments and episodes. That's why I call it incomplete. It's not the story of my life, it's glimpses. There are things in it like doomed relationships. There are dramatic career changes. There was the period when I became what people knew as a hippie, and an extended period where I saw myself as coming back into society. And finally, in my late 40s, I returned to the city that I came from, Sydney. And in my latter days, I've discovered writing. My second book in 2023 arose out of a trip to Tasmania. I took my laptop with me and went there with the intention of accepting my Diploma of Family History from the University of Tasmania, spending some time in Hobart and pursuing some family history. I stayed in Hobart for a few days and saw things that I hadn't seen before. I'd been there 3 or 4 times before. I also went on a 2-hour trip south of Hobart to Hastings Caves, which I found to be a revelation. It's a very beautiful place. The second reason for my trip to Tasmania was to pursue a particular piece in my family history. It was to do with my great-great-grandmother, Sarah Crosby, who was Irish and who came out here as a convict. And I discovered that she was sent to Oatlands to work in a tavern as a maid. And I did find out things that were intriguing. And my next book is called Library Meets Book Fair. It's in process at the moment. It will be available around about the end of January. If you have a personal library, sometimes you will see the same books at book fairs. This is what happened to me. Afterwards, I thought, what if I went to a book fair looking for books that I already owned? I did, and in the end I found nearly 40 books. This was my invitation to revisit those books and those topics. Some of them went back nearly 50 years, and some of them I hadn't thought about for about that long. The result was I had to review my perspectives on a whole range of issues. Things in psychology, issues in archaeology, the history of humanity, art, healing, and even the history of Iceland. It was a deep and fascinating experience, and it was an enjoyable book. I call this stream of books Reflections on Experience. Question is, am I writing autobiography? Am I writing memoirs? Well, I like the expression reflections on experience. It's my expression. I haven't heard other people use it. What is it? It's just me talking about stuff that I have experienced. What do I say? Well, I say what I know, and I say what I'm learning. And I refine for myself what my perspectives are and what my understanding is. These are my reflections on experience. I have other streams of books as well. One of them is about ethics and values. Of the books that I wrote there, the latest one is A Foundation for Living Ethically, which is a dialogue between two people. I have several books on family history as well, the latest of which is All the Rivers Come Together. This is a series of over 40 short stories that are different people across the whole family tree. As well as this, I have collections of poetry, and the latest of those is called The Way is Open. There's a stream. No, it's not really a stream. These are simply the first books that I wrote. When I lived in Kyogle on the far north coast of New South Wales, I wrote a history of the Kyogle Shire called Places in the Bush. That was in the bicentennial year 1988. And then in 1995, I wrote a book for the centenary of the Kyogle Public School. I have a website, glenmartin.com.au. It has pages related to each of the streams that I've talked about, and there's something about each of my books there. You can also obtain copies of the books. If you click on the links on the website, they'll take you through to lulu.com, which is the place that prints and sends books on my behalf. If you wish to contact me by email, the email is glenn@glenmartin.com.au. Thank you.